Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars Legends lore video. Today, we'll be doing two of my favorite things, talking about Star Wars capital ships and looking at Imperial warlords. Specifically, we'll be examining Ennix Devian's restored empire and its fleet of Republic-era Star Destroyers. However, before we continue guys, just a word from today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, clearly one of the best looking mobile games available. In case you've been living under a rock for the past couple of months, Raid is a brand new collection-based RPG game with an amazing storyline, awesome graphics, giant boss fights, and more than 400 champions for you to collect and personally customize. It's meant to be a classic RPG or strategy game with all the crazy battles and events that you're used to, but on your phone. And again, just look at the level of detail here. Great graphics, a full detailed storyline, but free to play. Raid is growing really quickly with a new update this month meant for new players, so now's the perfect time to join. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special links, and you will instantly get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion to start your journey. Good luck, and I'll see you there. By the way, the game is worth trying even if you guys don't play on mobile already, or if you don't play video games generally. Anyway, back to the content. So, as many of you know, the Empire, without any sort of central leadership after the Battle of Endor, split into many sub-factions, many of which differed dramatically in philosophy, technology, and military strength. Moderate factions like Thrawn's Empire or Pelion's Imperial Remnant existed, and mostly sought to reinstate a strong central force in the galaxy. However, many factions instead exemplified the worst aspects of the Empire. And we saw militaries fall under those like the humanocentric Delic Krenal or the power-worshipping Brachus, and many more. The faction we'll be discussing today was one of the more vile spewed from the corpse of the Empire, the Restored Empire. And before we talk about its military power, I think it's important to look at its leader, Ennix Devian. Devian was an extraordinarily cruel and power-hungry man who had served within various arms of the Empire throughout his entire life. He was consistently and quickly promoted as a young man due to his absolute loyalty to Emperor Palpatine, as well as his total lack of empathy towards civilians and of course his willingness to turn on his less dedicated colleagues. Devian's rise is described by part 2 of the Despoilers of the Empire article. Here's a quote. There, Devian's flair for brutally ferreting out any deficiency of jingoism disgusted party founder Artus Kane, beginning a lifelong feud. However, his rabid behavior also garnered party leader Kruya Van Don's approval, and ultimately Palpatine's personal notice. Now, it was very rare for Palpatine to show any sort of favor to non-Force sensitives, and Devian was given extra quote-unquote training with Lord Vader, who proceeded to destroy his face, removing his eye, and leaving Devian with lifelong scars. However, after achieving the Dark Lord's approval, Ennix Devian was assigned to Compnor, where he set about hunting down disloyal Imperials and bringing to swift justice the enemies of the Emperor. During this time, he also began the process of collecting assets at a secluded asteroid base, and we're talking everything from blasters and small technology all the way up to large capital ships that would have been otherwise decommissioned. After the death of Palpatine, Devian returned to the asteroid but made no major plays for galactic power. Devian's faction, sometimes known as the Restored Empire or the Carinth Dissension, sought to return a brutal, extreme version of the Empire to the galaxy, and would stop at nothing to do so. The Restored Empire was more than willing to inflict massive civilian casualties, or destroy other Imperial sub-factions. That takes us to 13 ABY, which is of course prior to the Pelion-Gaverson Treaty. There, the Dissension secured advanced weapons technology, and Devian planned to covertly bomb Coruscant, eliminating the political heart of the New Republic. These plans were aided by Yuuzhan Vong Scout Nama Nor, who was of course under disguise and hoping to sow instability across the galaxy. During his initial planning stages, former guardsman Kir Kanos was taken to RZ-7 6-11323, the covert asteroid, to meet Devian and see his stash of Imperial weapons. Crimson Empire 3 shows the massive stash of somewhat outdated technology. We're talking everything from V-Wings and Juggernauts all the the way up to Venators and Acclamators. Devian reveals that these weapons, along with the Zenithium, the material from No Manor, were meant for a two-pronged assault on Coruscant. Hyrcanos was unwilling to inflict massive civilian casualties and left for Coruscant to warn the New Republic, unaware that a bomb was actually attached to his ship. Although Luke is able to stop the explosion from destroying a major part of Coruscant, this was ultimately the opening stages of Devian's attack. And in fact, Coruscant was not the real target. Devian was eyeing Pelion, who had reunified the Empire but changed it substantially. Pelion had moved the Empire to the Outer Rim and was actually considering peace with the New Republic. First, an attack is launched on an Imperial base as an attempt to spur the Empire into action against the New Republic. Assuming that the Imperial remnant would strike back and thus leave their planet of Arinda undefended, the Venator fleet attacked the planet with full force. And although their ships were significantly older than the Empire's ISDs, the restored Empire easily pushes through the defenses and wins the space battle. With the Imperial remnant's fleet dead in space, the attack progresses to the ground, with Devian ordering Pelion to submit to his authority and work with the restored Empire and to resume full-scale war against the New Republic. However, Imperial Baron Rajazdasta had learned of and figured out Devian's betrayal and hidden fleets behind one of Arinda's moons, which in turn ravaged the restored Empire's aging warships. Canos then killed Devian in one-on-one combat, effectively ending the threat of the restored Empire. So what I've just described is basically the plot of Crimson Empire 3. I find it interesting because of course we see Imperial factions jostling for power. We see one that is remarkably more cruel and evil, almost symbolic of the worst aspects of Palpatine's Empire, while Pelion, as always, is a shining example of a good Imperial. I also like it because we get some more context about what happened with the Republic's Venators. We know not only that many were decommissioned, but that Imperial warlords, if powerful enough during the Empire's heyday, could have stashed some assets away for future use. We also know that Venator wasn't so outclassed by the ISD that they'd have no chance in space combat, and you know what? The Republic-era starfighters actually seem to do fairly well against the TIEs, but I don't think that's very surprising. Anyway, no question of the day today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, this has been EckhartsLadder. Be safe, have a great day, and may the Force be with you.